Alrighty. It is currently August 30th, 9:34 p.m. on a Saturday. I am sitting here about to react to the patch notes for Exalts of Twiltrie. This is a set that is going to be releasing in, let's call it 2 days. It's recently gone under balance changes to prepare it for entering into the Revolution format. Oh, this set is by Zangi, by the way. I went ahead and pulled up the GitHub for this set. This is the old version of the set. We're about to go read the patch notes. I'm going to be using the GitHub here to compare to the old versions so you can kind of see where cards land. Before we get into it, I was informed. Well, I first want to say that I have seen almost no notes from the set so far. I only have seen one change, and that is to the card Dawn Sworn Survivors. And then I was also told that there was a change to a card called Vestige of the King's Fall, though I do not know what that change is outside of a stat line change, so I'm excited to see that. I have also been informed that there are 4 mono green cards being changed, and as some of you may know, I am a mono green fiend, so I'm excited to see what they do with that. I am hoping that mono green gets a couple buffs, but we will see how it goes. I imagine a lot of these changes will likely be nerfs or reworks of some sort to help the set become in line with the current Revolution standard, but I'm hoping there is going to be some exciting changes in here. Alright, without further ado, let us get into the patch notes. I have no idea how many changes there are, so we will see how long the patch notes are. We are not going to switch because I'm not doing this through Discord. Alright. So let us just scroll through real quick to see how many changes we have. Oh my. That is quite a few. Let's go ahead and add a little R there. Okay. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with mechanic changes. Vigor is now if you've gained or lost life this turn. Huh. I could have sworn Vigor was already that. As long as you've gained or lost life this turn. As long as you've gained or lost life this turn. Let me see. Oh, some of them say if your life total is changed this turn. Okay, so this is relevant. So if you've... Wait, I don't know if that's right. If you've gained life and then you've lost the same amount of life, or you lost life and then you gain the same amount of life, I'm not sure if that... I mean, that would probably still trigger Vigor, so I think this is just making it more clear what exactly Vigor is looking for. I think, in essence, this is still going to be playing exactly the same. It's just a small wording update. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I'm on board. Let's go ahead and get to the individual card changes. Starting with Harmony. Ooh, okay. Harmony has been reworked to a card called Honesty. And says, whenever a creature you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on it. If this is the second time this ability is all this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control. Oh, wow. Okay, that's already a big change. Let's see if the other part... Yep, the other part's been changed too. Whenever you attack, tap up to 1 target creature. If you attacked with total power 8 or more, instead tap up to 3 target creatures. Holy crap. Okay, I'm going to pull up Harmony here. There you are. Yeah, so this is, I think, a massive buff for Harmony. Missing out on the card draw is slightly sad. I think that was something that the white-green deck might have liked. However, being able to just dominate combat through the tap attack trigger, and the triple tap attack trigger is nice. And then every creature entering with a counter, and then also being able to spread counters to the entire board, hell yeah. I am so much higher on Harmony than I was before. Sorry, Honesty. So much higher on Honesty than I was before. Yeah, that is a good change. Sanctum of Repression reworded to not hear on things and work like Fatal Push. Okay, let's look at Sanctum of Oppression. There you are. So target non you don't control command by the US. Okay. Yes, so this could, for the second mode, target something that you controlled and not your opponent controlled. So now it's worded like Fatal Push. Yep. Alrighty. Yeah, that's Probably. I mean, that might have came up, but it's more just like a hostage taker type thing, I guess. Good change. All right, Guild Chant Transmuter renamed to Binder of Greed and Merit. I need to look up what Guild Chant Transmuter was. Nope, that's not how you spell that. Guild Chant. Oh, yeah, the treasure guy. Yeah. I mean, sure. Okay. Still a good card. Sirius name changed to Severith. Okay, did we already have a Sirius in Rev or in canon? No. Okay. Sure. I'm good with that too. I like Severith just as much. Okay, moving on to Golden Bloom of the Silence now reads choose another non-line card name from choose any. Okay, let's look at what Golden Bloom did. Choose non-guy. Other non-appearance that chosen lose double. Yep, okay. So that's good. So now if you have two of them, or your opponent has one and you have one, they no longer do weird layer interactions. So, yeah, I'm on board. I'll be interested to see if this sees any sideboard play. It could, I could definitely see a world where this is a useful card. Not quite sure what that world is, but I'm interested to find out. Sigil of Last Light loses its 6th resolve trigger and is now still an enchantment when animated. Oh, okay, I think I actually do know this card. Yeah, okay. So no longer has the ability to get Double Striker Indestructible. I mean, that's fine. You're literally almost never going to get 6 creatures entering in one turn in normal constructed, so I don't think that's too much of a loss, but becoming a creature permanently, I think is actually probably a nerf to the card, since it no longer is able to dodge board wipe, so I do think this, I don't think this kills the card, but I do think it's definitely less intriguing than it was before. Alright, moving on to Henda Revelans. Angel Form is only until end of turn in addition to our other types. Wait, was it? Son of a bitch. It was indefinite. Oh my god, I did not even realize. Oh, I would have been on this card so much more if I had known that. Well, now it is as it was before. Yeah. She becomes a soldier and an angel, so I think the soldier angel deck will like that a lot now. I mean, yeah, okay. Cool. Good to know. What's next? Donhim Herald. Okay, Donhim Herald. I don't recall you. I'm going to choose one if you particularly choose any number instead. Oh, wow. I don't think I ever actually, processed how good this card is. This is actually quite decent. Even with just choose 2, that is really not bad. Okay, I'm going to have to keep an eye on this card. I think this is actually quite strong. Blessed Line Warning is now a 2/3 for 1 white from 1/1 for white. Whoa. Who are you getting the 2-mana 2/3 treatment? Oh, you! Oh, I'm so sad this is not a 1-drop anymore. It was so spicy as a 1-drop Anthem creature. But I think it'll still be good as a 2-mana 2/3, honestly. It's just a Soldier Anthem. You don't even need to... I think the Angels deck is such a trap. Just play good Soldiers and have, maybe a couple Angels as a top end. Yeah. I'm still quite into this. It's still a good card. Excuse me. Oof. Okay. It is dusty in here. Alright. Radiant Devotee is now a 2/1 for white from 2/2 for 1 white. Oh my god, we got a Savannah Lions upgrade here? Who are you, Radiant Devotee? Radiant Devotee. Oh! Okay, I take back what I said before about not wanting to run Angels. This is absolutely changing my mind. That as a 1-drop is so much more exciting than a 2-drop. Oh, I'm going to have to look at what 3-drop Angels we have, because just running this and then Resolute Reinforcements and maybe convoking out a 3-drop Angel on turn 2. Let's actually just look at our current cast of Angels in normal red. Oh, tag, not legal. Tag. Okay. Containment Seraph on turn 2, not the best. Can't do Omen Horn. Spacetime Seraph, Pyrewing Angel. Yeah, okay, so these are all pretty terrible to have on turn 2. Let's see if Exalts of Twiltrie brings any good 3-drops. Boundlight Seraph. That's not bad. Sanderstone Flame, that is bad. Kindled Seraph, I don't think you can I don't think you can do that with the Convoke. Okay, so maybe. Maybe. I'm going to give it a hard maybe. That is very exciting, though. All angels in the format are going to be measured up to Radiant Devotee as a 1-drop. That is super cool. I'm happy to see that. Okay, Sovereign's Execution. Oh, okay. I did not think this was going to get changed. Has been reworked as destroy target creature Planeswalker Vigor. You lose 3 life unless your life total changed this turn. Holy shit. Okay, that's probably just better than Dragon to the Dark and Hang now. I think that's definitely now the premier 2-drop instant removal spell. Wait, Sovereign's Execution. Can you hit Planeswalkers? No, okay. But it's still, I mean, neither can the other two, but I was just curious. Okay, yeah, that is... Wait, no, it does... Oh my god, you can hit Planeswalkers now. Oh, no, yeah, this is the best, and it's not even close. Yeah, that is just far and away the best 2-drop instant removal spell. Black removal spell in the format. I think any removal spell in the format, actually. I don't think white has anything quite as good as this either. Yeah, that is extremely solid. I mean, any shock land, any coalesced land. We have a bunch of little life gain creatures that would love this. Yeah, this card is gas. I mean, even if you can't enable Vigor in your deck at all, I still don't think it's that bad. Like this, I forget the name of the card in canon, but the 2-mana instant that can hit creatures Planeswalkers, so you can discard or pay 3 life. That card's awesome. Obviously, the discard has a lot to do with it, but it's still like a great card, even with the 3 life. Like, yeah, this card is good. Here's the first mono green change. I knew this was coming. I think we all knew this was coming. Redeemer of Hollow Flesh loses Ward 2. Let's go ahead and pull up Redeemer. I know it by heart, of course, but for my wonderful viewers. It's 2 and a green for a 3/3, no longer with Ward 2. It says at the beginning of combat on your turn, target opponent exiles a card from their graveyard, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token if they exile a creature card this way, create a treasure token if they exile a land card this way. If you didn't create a token this way, put a +1/+1 counter on Redeemer of Hollow Flesh. This card is crazy good to land early. If you landed off a Husk Forger on turn 2, it's either going to be a 4/4 or a 3/3 that makes a treasure token. Either one is just insane. I can't even... It's so good. Losing War 2 definitely hurts the card, but it is probably still the best green 3-drop. And probably this... I don't want to say the second best 3-drop in the format, but it is up there. It's not quite as good as Anomaly, but it is very close. Yeah, so expected nerf, but I'm still really hyped for the card. Courtly Intrigue. Okay, now triggers on combat damage to any player or non-creature permanent from player presser. Oh, so now it triggers on your battles. I'm surprised it didn't do that before, honestly. Yep, there it is. So still probably pretty decent in like a tokens list, but it's no longer going to be going on pingers, which was probably the scariest application of the card. So I think it's still a good card because Curiosity is a good card. Good-ish card. And yeah, I am quite hyped to see where this lands. Speaker of Currents loses its cost reduction ability and gains prowess. I'm going to have to look up a lot of the blue back archetype. I am not a tempo player ever, so I do not remember a lot of these cards. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like Speaker of Currents. What was the change? Loses cost reduction ability and gains prowess. Oh, okay. That's interesting. So obviously that's better with this cards that want you to pay 4 mana into instant sorceries. The cost reduction is a good change. But man, I think this hurts this card outside of those decks, unfortunately. I think it was having a Baral type card was very helpful. Or like what is the one that's in Modern? Ral Crackling Prodigy or something? Or Stormcaller Prodigy? I don't know. They have like a billion different little Izzet-esque names now. But yeah, I think this card had potential to spawn a Spellslinger deck outside of the Spellslinger deck that Exalted Twiltrie is bringing. But now it can play well in that deck. I am hesitant because I don't think Chant is a mechanic you want to run a extremely high density of. I think you just want to run your best Chant cards. But I could see it. I'm not going to write it off because the card is still a 2-mana 1/3 with prowess that lets you gain a ton of additional value. So I think it is certainly possible that it still sees play, even losing arguably the stronger line of text than prowess. Very arguably. Next we have Skytide Severer, renamed Skytide Piercer, and now taxes 2 from 3. Oh, okay, I actually did know this one, and I don't think I'm too surprised to see this change. Yeah. Okay, so 1 and a blue for flyer with 2. It's a 2/1 flyer. You can pay blue and sacrifice it to counter target non-creature spell unless the controller pays 3, and also chant for a blue for that counter line. Yeah, not surprised to see this go from 3 mana to 2. It's more of a spell pierce now that you still have to attach to another spell. Card is still really playable, I think. I think this is like the premier tempo true drop. I really don't know what we have for tempo in current canon right now. I mean, we have a ninjas deck, but that deck is not good. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not good. Maybe, I don't know, maybe this helps ninjas get there. It's not. This is definitely one of the best blue creatures in the format right now. It's just that blue does not have a lot of creature-based decks right now, I think. Unless your name is Golems, in which case, I mean, that's not, I wouldn't call that a blue creatures deck as so much as a type deck. Anyway, I'm getting off course. Yes, I still think this is a really good card, even with that nerf. Okay. Clash at Scorch Root, but I do not remember this card whatsoever. Clash at Scorch. Okay. 1 red and a red for a battle operation, 4 defense. Beginning coming turn, create 2/1/1 fairy creatures with haste. Sacrifice beginning of step. 2 defense when the battle reaches the stage. You may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Creatures control +1 now. Oh yeah, I remember this card. I don't remember being super hyped for it. Was this a buff? Now makes 1 fairy token for 2 unless you discard, draw up to 2 cards from discard to draw. No, I think that's probably a nerf. Yeah, unfortunately, I just do not think this card is good. I do see why they nerfed it, because it really defeats itself quite quick. Well, actually, I completely misread this card before. This card is actually quite gas. Or, it was. I think now I'm probably not very into it. No, I mean, I could still see it. Discarding 2, drawing 2 is really good, as we've seen on Fable of the Mirror Breaker, on top of already getting other value. And this kind of does a Fable impression a little bit. Maybe. You know, I could see... Well, I was going to say I could see Teshma decks picking up, but 1 red's a tough mana cost. But I could see some sort of token list picking up. There's still going to be token lists in the format, I think. So, we will see. Moving on, we have Reclaim the Fallen. This was the Reanimator spell. Now it costs 3 black to cast and 1 black to flashback from 2 black to cast and 3 black to flashback. God, flashback. Okay, let's look at Reclaim the Fallen. There you are. Alright, Reclaim the Fallen. 2 black, turn target creature. Okay, so now it's more like the canon version of the card, except this one just can go in mono. This one can really only go in mono black. I mean, okay, so this one can actually do the Shigane Mana Burns line. However, it's a lot more difficult because you need to get both this card and your Reanimator target in the bin, which means you need more than just Shigane Mana Burns, so it does not enable itself. Okay, I see what they did. Very clever. I like that. I think this is probably the best Reanimator spell in the format. I think the other options are Ruiner's Hijacking, which you do get that mill cycle mode. Is kind of something you can play really early to help stock your graveyard, and this can hit any graveyard. So definitely ease some good stuff there. And then there's the name of the card I am forgetting, but it's in Errors of the Weft. Weft Dancer! Oh my god, it's in the name. Errors in the Weft Dancer is also really good. Actually, I think I do prefer Weft Dancer just slightly over... No. I do think Reclaim the Fallen is the best, then Weft Dancer, then Ruiner's Hijacking. Oh man, that flashback is really good. The 1 black is really tough. You're not going to be able to run like 3 or 4 color Reanimator decks, I think. But I think you don't need that. 2 color should be enough. I still think we're probably lacking a very solid Reanimator target. I don't think Exalts of Twiltrie bought very much in that regard. I mean, we do have the extra turn guy, but he has to deal combat damage or something, and creatures just don't survive that long. So, yeah. I think the card is... I mean, it's definitely a buff to the Reanimator archetype. I'll give it that. I just don't know if it's quite enough yet. But I am happy to see this change. I think it's a very good and healthy change to have. Pact Beyond Death now search your library for any card defeated from exiling all creatures that didn't damage it this turn. Oh no! My janky Pact Beyond Death Brood just dies with this, I think. Yeah, no. I mean, no, it was completely justified. Being able to hold up the option to deal a board wipe to the board with, like, a bolt or something was disgusting. I think this card is still freaking amazing in any deck that can defeat it, at least semi-reliably. I mean, just getting it to 4 defense already makes it, like, really good for mid-range and control against aggro, because that life gain is going to add up so fast. Like, I see decks take advantage of, what's the card? Sifting Through Soot to gain life without even being landfall decks, and I think this just does the job better, because you get to draw a card off your Sifting Through Soot. So yeah, I am super duper into this. I mean, even with the nerf quotation marks. Now I think you could just play it without having to focus on the 6 defense option. I mean, and being able to go grab any card is cool, I guess. I mean, like, imagine defeating it and then just going and grab another Pact Beyond Death so you gain 4 life on any draw. That would be crazy. Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Alright, Fiend of the Crimson Pack. I believe this is the other card that tutors now at Mythic in this set. Yeah. Nerfing into a 5/5, that was absolutely warranted, yeah. And then, what was the other nerf? It can no longer tutor itself. Yeah, don't want to say this card is dead, because I don't think it is, but I do think it's definitely much less attractive as, like, a black top-end creature. No, but I'm not going to say it's dead. It definitely still has some very good applications as a powerful top-end that can also just do your little chant thing to go grab anything in your deck, except apparently for Fiend of the Crimson Pact. So yeah, definitely a warranted nerf, but I don't think it was over-nerfed whatsoever. Angler of the Crushing Seas. Oh, is this the combo bait card? I shouldn't call it a combo bait card. I don't think it was intended as such, but yeah, this guy. Okay, so this is no longer a ritual, I'm guessing. Now enters enchants for blue to mill a player for 3 cards, and costs a 1 less to cast for each instant sorcery in your graveyard. Okay, so when it enters, it mills a player for 3 cards, and you can pay blue to mill a player for 3 cards, which helps stock your graveyard for Angler. Okay, I think that's really cool. Definitely no longer going to be a busted ritual card that would see play and probably break the format. But I still think a Spellslinger deck absolutely wants to include this. So yeah, I am quite into it. I'm not much of a canon Spellslinger player. Actually, that's not true. I played that Simic Tolarian Terror crap list that came out of Bloomburrow quite a bit, so I actually might mess around with this. I don't know if we have any other cards in this vein. I'll have to check, but I'd be quite interested to see. Alright, moving on. Matriarch of Veiled Kin loses the discard ability, has menace, gives horrors and marks +1/+1, and cascades to Horror Warlock with mana value 2 or less. Oh, okay. That is quite a few changes. Let's go ahead and look at that. Nope. Misspelled it right at the end. Nope. And right here, too. Matriarch of the Veiled... Oh, there's no the. There you go. Okay, Matriarch of Veiled Kin. Okay, so it always did the +1/+1. I thought it was +1/+0 for some reason. So +1/+1. I could should contact a player, discard a card. Okay, so we lost that. We gained menace. And now I can get a horror or warlock with mana value 2 or less. Okay, let's look at... Because we could already tutor warlocks, and I think we pretty much all agreed that Exorcist of Errors is the best one. So what are the horrors with mana value 2 or less in canon? Oh. Let's see. There you go. I'll type horror. Making all sorts of mistakes. Okay. Door Monstrosity, not bad. Wicked Manifestation, that's kind of interesting. And Rifling. I could see some utility. Door Monstrosity is cute to cheap out, right? Or to cheat out. Wicked Manifestation, maybe in like a cycling deck. If you really want to find Wicked Manifestation each game, you can run Matriarch to get it. And Rifling has definitely seen some play before in decks. I don't think it does much anymore, but I could see it. Yeah. And then how about in Exalts of Twiltrie? No. Okay. So these are options for cheating out horrors. I do think Exorcist of Errors is still the de facto best card to play with Matriarch. I don't think that changes. I think... man. I was already kind of on the fence on playing this with, what's this called? With Exorcist, and I do not think this nerf helps, unfortunately. Oh, it gives Horrors and Warlocks +1/+1. Okay, maybe not. Maybe that's good. Can I go back to Matrix? There you go. I assume there might be a deck that might want to do this. I could see it. I'm not sure what that deck looks like because I'm not that type of deck builder, but there is the possibility, and I'm excited for that possibility. Okay, Reflected Echoes token is now illusion adjustment to other types. Hey, illusion tribal, we have that. Who is Reflections Echo? Oh my god. Am I not spelling that right? Reflected Echo. Oh, no. Oh, not Reflected Echo. God, I'm losing it. Oh, okay, this card, yes. I was very, very close to playing this card in Simic Stompy because I thought it had really nice applications. Okay. It being illusion is not going to affect that for me, but, you know, I think that's really cool. I think being able to hold this up as a flashback instant is, like, low-key pretty powerful. So, I'm hyped. I'm hyped for this card. But, yeah, the illusion part's not going to matter much for me, but there are decks that care about illusions. I think that, I want to say his name is Fluttering Wings is the name of the card. Doubles your illusion token, so that now works with this card. So, yeah. Hype. Okay, Petal Claw Ambusher now triggers when an illusion dies. Look at that. We already have illusion typo coming right after. I'm just going to put Petal Claw. Okay. Put a +1/+1 counter on target fairy, and now what does it do? When illusion dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target fairy. Sure. Don't think this card was targeted to see play, so I'm curious what this change is about. Whenever a illusion you control dies from everything else blocked. Oh, I guess so. Now, if your opponent blocks this and this doesn't die, when your token. Wait. Let me look up decoy. Exile the token, making the next step. Okay, so you have to figure out a way to sacrifice the token if it gets blocked. Or you have to figure out a way to sacrifice the token if it doesn't get blocked because it gets exiled. Yeah, no, this card is still, unfortunately, I do not think even close to being in the echelon of 2-drop hasters that see play. Cash Thrasher, a million times better still, I think. But, yeah, neat change. Law given form now exiles a creature you don't control if it's tapped or its power is 4+ from exile on target with those attributes. Huh? No, I'm gonna have to read the card. I know what the card is, but exile target type creature or creature with power 4 or greater you don't control. What? No, I'm absolutely not reading the story yet. This is what happens when you do reactions after an 8-hour work shift. My brain. Okay. Now, exile creature you don't control if it's tapped or its power is 4. Oh, okay. So you always have a target, but you only exile it if it's tapped or its power is 4+. Gotcha. Okay. That makes a ton of sense. Okay, cool. I mean, because right now, you exile target type creature or creature power 4 or greater you don't control. So you could exile a tapped creature on your own board, mandatory if your opponent didn't have a creature with power 4 or greater and you had a tapped creature and they didn't have a tapped creature. So this is just making the wording less mandatory, I guess. Okay. Cool. Good. The card is still not going to see any constructed play, but that is a good change. Dawn's Survivor now triggers when you cast your second spell each... Oh, right, yes. So I already knew this change was coming because I talked about it with another person before I remembered that I was going to film a reaction video. Yeah, so I think this is a buff that is very interesting because I thought the card was already maybe nerf-worthy. So I'm interested to see... I'm interested to see the justification for this. I mean, honestly, the decks I was planning on playing in it, probably the buff is not going to matter because they were pretty much all creatures anyway, except for like a 5-drop, which I wasn't going to double spell with anyway. But yeah, I think this card is going to be insane. Spirit Realm Phoenix from KDT's release month, when it did not cost 1 to return, reminds me of Dawnsworn Survivor a lot, except I think now you don't have to run Calamity Cat with it. You can just run any 2 cards with it to get Dawnsworn Survivor back. So yeah, yeah. I'm not going to speak much more on it because I think the card is really good, and I'm definitely going to be building a deck with it. I'm going to... Oh, by the way, I'm going to be trying to release a deck tech tomorrow now that the patch is revealed. So you will see a likely 4 of Dawnsworn Survivor in tomorrow's patch. Alright. Oh, let me show Dawnsworn Survivor. I did say I was going to show all the cards. So this is Dawnsworn Survivor. It is a 4-mana 4/3 trample that says whenever you cast your second spell, your second spell each turn, and you return Dawnsworn Survivor from your graveyard to your hand. So, yeah, this card is quite good. Alright. Zakola can no longer tutor lands. Zakola, you were the spider-looking one, right? Yes, you were. Can no longer tutor lands. You can search for a creature, link, or mana that exercise for X amount of life you lost a turn, put the card in the battlefield and show. So yes, this could always tutor a land, even if you didn't have any life lost that turn, because obviously lands have a mana value of Goose Egg, 0. So you could always tutor a land if you didn't lose any life, otherwise you could go grab a creature. Yeah, that's definitely a hit to the card's playability. However, I think it's still a really good card. Shocks, coalesce lands, go grab any good 2 or 3 drops. Yeah, card is still absolutely good, just not quite as strong as it was before. But yeah, good. Lunate Charm exiles creature with power 4+ from power 5+. Oh, okay, let me look at you, Lunate Charm. Yes. I was on record saying this was the one that was least likely to see play. I didn't say it was bad. I do think it's still good, but I just think it was the least likely to see play. Hitting power 4 or greater instead of power 5 or greater is certainly a good buff. I think this is probably still the worst of the 5, unless I see another buff for this card later in the patch for some reason, or a nerf to one of the other charms. But I still think it could definitely see some sideboard play in white-green decks against maybe control or like a graveyard strategy. This is probably like... I don't know if I would run this over like a more conventional removal spell, like a Banishing Light, but I don't know. We'll see. It definitely has its use cases, and the buff is appreciated. Drowned Tide Exhumer now returns a non-Merfolk creature card from any non-Merfolk card. Yep, that makes sense. I remember people were wondering if this was a pie break because it was a black card returning any sort of card. I guess any sort of card except a Merfolk. From your graveyard to your hand, it seems that has been rectified, and it now returns only creature cards, which makes sense. Yeah, and I think this card's decent. Even if it can't return any card anymore, still being able to return a creature card for single mana enchant and for getting a Grave Digger, I believe the term is, from your graveyard later, or from your chant exile zone later, is not bad. So yeah, I'm a fan. Davika now has if Davika would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile instead. Yep, this makes a ton of sense. I knew I should have just typed in Davika. I don't know why I went for Annika. Anik, because her name's not Annika, it's Anik. So the backside, now this was, before it was something that you could always cast when it died, as long as it was in your graveyard. But now, once you cast Davika once, if she dies, she is not coming back because she is getting exiled forever. Honestly, I don't think she needed it, but I do think it was a good change because this -1... Ooh, voice crack. -1, as target player sacrifice a non-land permanent thing, was probably really frustrating to go up against in the late game because you would just never be able to stick anything, and even if you killed it, it would keep coming back. So now she is no longer going to be doing that. So I think this is a healthy change, even if it was one that was not probably warranted for power level. I think it is a good change for the sake of frustrating play experiences being reduced. Asterion loses ward is a 5/5 from a 6/6, and his tokens also have lifelink. Asterion, were you the Boros stat bomb that I remember you being? I misspelled it. Asterion. Asterion? There he is. Yes, you were. Okay, wait, did he lose? Oh, he loses his entire ward. Okay, and the tokens have a lifelink. Yep, this probably kills Asterion. He was the control breaker before, and now he is no longer the control breaker because he is vulnerable to any type of removal. The 3 points of lifelink, definitely going to be nice. I could see a world where you run this as like a Boros top end, and it either kills control players by being uncounterable and getting 3 or 8 damage in each turn, or gaining life against Aggro, no. This is a 5-drop that is just not going to have enough board presence and does not protect itself enough, unfortunately. So yeah, I think Asterion is dead. Verdant Radiance loses wheel mode and gains new mode. Untap target creature after this main phase. There's an initial combat phase followed by additional main phase. Verdant Radiance. You sound like a green card, but I know you're not. So, who are you? Oh, okay. 2 and a red for a sorcery. Choose one. Destroy all artifacts with mana value 3 or less. Discarding number of cards, then draw that many cards. +1. Ah, okay. This is no more wheel mode, and you get an additional combat for 1 creature. Why does it sound so familiar? Okay. Anyway, so yeah, you still have the important mode, which is the ability to blow up all artifacts with mana value 3 or less. The wheel mode, while nice, I honestly think the extra combat's going to be better. So, still a sideboard card, I think, but a very solid sideboard card. The poor hard suit pilots out there are going to be sad that this card is out there, because this card will wreck people for sure from the sideboard. Banners Unbroken is now 5 green from 6 green, costs 1 less per angel from 2, and puts 2+1/+1 counters in each soldier you control from creatures getting +1/+1 per soldier you control. Oh, I think that's a nerf. Wow, that's surprising me because, okay, I know other people swore by it, that it was a really good card. I was not of that opinion. I thought the card was not good, and I do think this is a pretty debilitating nerf that completely... shouldn't say completely kills the card, because I do think there's a realm in which there are places where it could potentially see play, but you need to get 2 angels. 2 angels is already pretty hard from the angels that we have in the format, by the way. And then you get 2 counters on each soldier you control, so it's not even a board-wide buff. No, I'm sorry. This card is just... there's no way. Even... no. I mean... I'm trying to find a line in my head where you could justify playing this, but I just think there are just so many better cards you could run that that are less finicky to enable and give a better buff. Like 2+1/+1 counters is better than +2/+2 or even +3/+3, but it's not worth 5 mana, 6 mana, 7 mana, or arguably even 4 mana. Like... and you don't even get to buff your big flying angels that are the ones that can usually swing in longer games. Like, no. It is a card I want to like, but this nerf, I think, just kills it. All right, Sunwrath Charm. This is my favorite of the cycle in terms of name. So let's see what you do now. What was the change? Deals 2 damage and gains 2 to target creature from attacking blocking creature. Oh, it's any creature now? Oh, this is the best charm of the cycle. Dolkarn, sorry, you have been dethroned. This card is awesome. Oh, I never noticed. It had the Asterion in the art. That's sick. Okay, yeah, so this is just now the best card in the cycle, I think. Boros, aggro wants this. You can just loot away a bad card late game. You can get any creature of 2 mana value 2 less. There's so many good cards. At instant speed, you can recur, and it also just kills any creature for 2 mana and you gain 2 life. Or not any creature, sorry. It kills any 2 toughness creature for 2 mana and you gain 2 life. Yeah, this is gas. Okay, yeah, this has been promoted my #1 in the charm slots. Wow. Yeah, that is a very solid change. Good card. Honestly, it was probably already in my top 2. Well, maybe top 3, but now that it doesn't have to hit attacking blocking creatures, I think it's my favorite. Extract the truth, rename, pluck the soul, and a second one can cause opponents to sacrifice battles. Is this the one that could hit enchantments? Let me see. Extract the soul. Did I miscall it? Extract the truth. I've switched the names. I'm going to do this so many times today, getting the wrong card. 1 black, turn between the hand, choose a play, creature play, battle. Return to second. Oh, wow. So, yeah, okay. So I actually think this is a quite potent change that this can now force battle sacrifice. So you now have ways to hit creatures, enchantments, and planeswalkers in hands, and enchantments and battles on the board. Yeah, I think this is a buff. Obviously, if your opponent has both an enchantment and a battle, and one of them you really want to kill, they are going to be able to sacrifice the other one. But without the Theros Age of Tracks enchantments sitting in play anymore, the trinket ones, I don't think that's going to happen too often. We still have a couple trinket cards, but I think this is just a pretty good buff to Pluck the Soul, which I like. I like the name Pluck the Soul more. I think it's very fun. Okay. Oh, okay. Overrule Thought. Cost your trigger to move. Now mills target player for 3. Okay, let me look at Overrule Thought. So this was the card that I was quite alarmed by initially because I realized that you could use it with fetches to potentially have a 1-mana quench on turn 1, which was horrifying. So this nerf does remove the cost reduction and instead mills any player for 3. Huh. This definitely positions it pretty closely to Death Deflection. I'm going to misspell my own card. There you are. This can't activate triggered abilities, of course, but I'm not sure how many of those we want to counter in the format right now. And milling 3 can certainly be good in a lot of decks, like Golems loves it with Extraction Mission. A lot of control decks would like to mill their graveyards for like surface cards. Maybe Harbor Mail can come back off this. The Aqua Crew does graveyard stuff, I think. Kyogre. I know there's more graveyard stuff in the format, but I'm blanking right now. But yes, this is definitely a change that, I mean, it's no longer super terrifying. It's now a very solid quench card. And yeah, I think this is going to be a very relevant line of text for a lot of decks. And I like that it's going to, there's going to be some competition between the two quenches in the format right now. All right, moving on to our second post here. We only have a few left, so let's get cracking. Amarants +2 now targets creatures you own from creatures you control. Let's pull up Amarant. They have been quite the source of discussion. Oh, wait, we have 2 Amarants. We want this Amarant. The other one is rotated and from the set, what was it? Also a Zengi set, Secrets of the River Cities. Okay, I believe that's the name. So Amarant Seeker of the Sun now no longer can steal your opponent's creatures if you gain control of them first with like a threaten effect. So now you have to target creatures you own. Relevantly, this actually now hates the steal creatures deck because you can steal your creatures back with Amarant. Yeah, I am a big fan of this. I'm sure Coveted Peacock is punching the air right now. She was not a big fan of the steel deck back in the day, so seeing this get eliminated from the format before you can even touch it is nice to see, and honestly, I am on the same boat. I still think this card is absolutely bonkers good as a Boros top end for like a mid-range deck maybe. I think like having access to 2 Lightning Helixes, the Flying Lifelink Haste Indestructible Angel on top, to be able to flicker your value creatures or get your big guys into combat. Like this completely ignores like an enemy Dutiful Wanderer ability because you can just have those come in, I think. Oh wait, at the beginning of your declare attacker step. So wait, I'm gonna have to ask the judge on this, but if they're already here at the beginning of the declare attacker step, does that mean you can't declare more attackers because those are already attacking? Or you can't attack with... Okay, I will ask a judge. There's literally no way I'm going to figure this out on my own, but just for people to see. Each opponent can't attack unless the total power of attacking creatures they control is 4 or less. I have no idea how this works with Amarant. I'm quite excited to find out. Okay. Advance of Dream Oven Law redesign. Now taps a creature, but suits comes out of that. On enter, when defeated, taps a creature when you attack. Let's look at bats. How could you know? Okay, plus 1 so. Defeated, draw 2 cards. Yeah. I mean, I think the early run might have seen play. Maybe in like a Ninja's list or something, though I doubt it. I wasn't confident on it, and I don't think the new one is very good either. So, yeah. I think this is definitely a step down from the previous version, but I don't think either one of them was quite good. Remnant of the Devoured Sun costs 7, up from 5, and returns a card exile to hand on enter or attack. I do believe that is a change. Oh, no. No. Okay, so that's actually 2 nerfs, because now it's going to 7 mana, and it can no longer put something into play and say, yeah, this card's dead. It's a double nerf. Like, 7 mana was already a pretty hefty nerf for a 5-drop, and now it can't put stuff into play anymore either. I mean, I think the card design is still pretty cool, but it's just not going to be good, unfortunately. Which is a shame. It was quite a cool design. But I mean, I could still see some avenues where it could see play. We don't have Urza lands, but it is 7 mana for, what's the Eternal card? There's no way I'm going to be able to find it. But it's a sorcery that returns a creature with mana value 7 or less. Oh, my microphone! Ah! Okay. That is going to teach me to stick my water bottle near my microphone. It is still a 7-mana... Sorry, where was it before? It's still a 7-mana card that can be returned by that 4-drop Reanimator spell, so that could definitely still be potent. But yeah, I'm not seeing much... Not seeing much reason to play this anymore, unfortunately. Diviner of the Sun loses the Anthem ability and gains whenever another non-token creature you control dies. Create a 2/2 white knight creature token of Vigilance. Diviner of the Sun. Who are you? Are you that one Rapture 4-drop? You are that one Rapture 4-drop. Okay, cool. Alright, nice. I wasn't... This card was not on my radar before, because I thought 4-drop Anthem creature is probably not going to get there, but honestly, that's not that bad. I think the current version is arguably, I don't want to say better, but it's certainly better into board wipes, because you get to bring back this guy as a 3/3, and also all your creature dies come back as 2/2 knights. With Vigilance, that is not bad at all. So maybe as like a board wipe protection spell, this could be interesting. I don't know. Maybe. I'll have it in mind. Faithline Marshal. Oh, there's a green card. Faithline Marshal becomes 2/3 from 2/2 and loses its 3rd spell trigger. Oh, okay. That is quite interesting. Let me spell every single card I look up today. 2 and a green for a 2/3 with Flash. Whenever you cast your first spell, you turn, create a 1/1, and whenever you cast a second spell, you turn, create a tapped Everhero token. And no more Anthem on 3 anymore, but don't worry, we weren't going to triple spell in the decks I want to play this in pretty much ever. Interesting 3-drop. Very interesting. This is a buff for sure. 2/3 is so much better in 2/2 in this meta. We have so many solid 2 damage removal spells, including one that just got buffed in Sunwrath Charm. So 2/3, massive. Losing the Anthem, I don't care. Like I said, we were pretty much never going to 3-spell this, and the Anthem, I mean, it's nice, but it's not exactly like game winning. So yeah. I'm a big fan of this, and I will absolutely be reevaluating it for certain decks. Very spicy. Next, we have Aldegar. Ooh, Aldegar's getting a change. I've not seen much hype behind Aldegar, despite them being arguably one of the better, probably one of the best Planeswalkers in the set. So, what is the change to Aldegar? Oh, now it costs 1 blue-red, and his -3 is now -2. Oh! Oh, okay. So he's going to 3 mana, which is definitely unfortunate, but now he can bolt something and live. Man, that is tough. That is tough to evaluate. Okay, so there is like a looter, blue-red looter deck that is very potent, or it was very potent. I don't think it's much good anymore, but it was at a time very potent. And I think this slots in pretty cleanly at 2. At 3? I don't know. Okay, so I've never played the blue-red deck, so I'm not an expert. I don't know if this goes into the deck. But my initial thought is, I think the deck still wants this. 3 damage for 3 mana is pretty decent, and the looting is obviously great, especially on an empty hand. That's just a free draw. So yeah, I think Aldegar is good. Good enough for that list too. Yeah, okay. I think this is definitely a slight nerf, but he's still a very good card. Yeah, okay, that's where I'm going to land. Ooh, okay, so this is one of the ones I knew that this part right here is the only thing I know about this change going into this patch notes. So there is a chunk of text after this, so let us see what it is. Vestige of the King's Fall is now 6/5 from 5/5, and its vigor ability is, at the beginning of your end step, you may exile Vestige of the King's Fall from your graveyard if you have gained or lost life this turn. If you do, return target zombie card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay. I'm sitting in it, and I think this is a slight nerf to the... Oh, but in 4 mana 6/5 with trample is so nice. Oh, I don't know. Okay, so losing the ability to always have it, losing the ability to potentially cast from the yard, even if it was for 5 mana, because that's the weird quirks of the mono green deck, life loss and life gain options. Even for that, that was really nice. I do think losing that is a pretty big hit. 6/5 over 5/5 is really nice, though. Well, first let me see what zombies we have in the format right now. Okay, so zombie, tag, future. Okay. Blightfang, Zigzags, terrible, we're not going to run it. Fleshbearer, bad card, we're not going to run it. Gut-wrenched Martyr, sure, that is a possibility, but Gut-wrenched Martyr already kind of comes back on its own, so I'm not super hyped about that. Merciless Headsman's not a good card. Thornlasher Mortis is maybe a good card. I guess it already synergizes with Vestige because it can see Vestige remove another card from your graveyard. Zigzag Apex, sure. I guess you can discard it twice now. So no, this is not exactly an inspiring selection here. Let us see what Exalted Twiltrie brings us. Okay, so we have Banner Breaker. I've liked Banner Breaker in the past. Deathsworn Blade, not a good card. Fellhorn Enforcer, not a good card. Graveborn Confidant, probably not a good card, but I could see it. Risen Butcher, there you go. That's a good card, though I don't know if I want this back when the exile, when the actual exiling Vestige from your graveyard matters. Vardo Revelant, that could definitely come up. He is a great card to play later in the game once your life total is maybe below half. Vardo Sculpel, again, I really don't want to play that late game or get it back late game. I mean, it is free value, sure, but okay, I gotta remember, this is Trinket Text on a 4-mana 6/5. Getting this back is not bad. Widow's Knight, I'm not playing that card. Withered Worm, sure, could see that if we go like maybe a little more Suicide Black direction, this could be decent. And Zakola is a very good card to get back, so yeah, that I'd be hyped about. So I'm really only hyped about Zakola and Vardo, maybe Risen Butcher, but not really. Gosh, yeah, I'll have to stew on that. 4-mana 6/5 Trample is already, like, pretty decent. Like, I don't think it's Nessie and Scout Captain's levels of decent, because Nessie and Scout Captain get buffed to your whole board, and more importantly, trample to your whole board. This just comes with good stats attached to it, and, like, a free graveyard thing. Like, I so wish it could bring back zombie or spirit cards. I have so many good spirits I play in mono green. Okay, yeah. I think, honestly, it's Trinket Text that's probably not even going to ever come up in the correct version of green-black Stompy. And it's literally never going to come up in mono green Stompy. So maybe there's a list that wants it for that last ability, but I doubt it. I think if you're running this, you are just conceding that this is a 4-mana 6/5 with Trample and Trample over battles and nothing else. In Stompy. There are other spots where it could see play. I think that might just be enough, to be honest. I'm going to have to really think on that. Okay, anyway. Let's move on. Frenzied Dawnseeker loses haste. Frenzied Dawnseeker. I don't remember you. Frenzied. Oh, there's a couple Frenzied cards. Frenzied Dawnseeker. 3-mana 2/2 haste. Whenever it... Okay. I did not realize that was an anthem on a haste creature. Yeah, that is quite good. Okay, and now that it doesn't have haste anymore, I think it is definitely much more in line. Yeah. Probably not going to see play anymore now that's lost haste, so we'll be moving on. Gravebound Oaths. I think this is the last green card. I can't think of any more after this, because we had the Banner's Been Broken, we had Vestige, and we had Dawnsworn Survivor. So yeah, this should be the final green card. Gravebound Oath's 3 defense abilities and 4 defense, and this defeat ability no longer reduce costs. Oh, okay, that is interesting. Okay, so you now get this effect at 4 defense, and you now lose the spells you cast from anywhere cost 2 less to cast. Okay, so initially, my thought is that this is a nerf. The 2 mana less to cast part was probably relevant in a lot of lists, because we do run some 4 and 5 drops, and it would have been nice to get those for 3 or 2 mana. But this comes down potentially on turn 2, and we run a lot of 1-drops with 1 power. Aspiring Anarchist, Huskcrafter, Orochi Soulfang. Sorry, House Forger. Orochi Soulfang. And these can all, if you don't have a better 2-drop or 3-drop in Husk Forger's case to follow up with, they can attack this down to 4 defense, and now you can play Lancer on the top of your library to help clear flooding out, I guess. Is that good enough? I don't know. Maybe. I'll test it. Not probably in my initial versions of the list, but if it turns out I want to do a little more grindy stuff, I think I can test it. Yeah, I think this is interesting. Gosh. I'm really going to have to think on a lot of these green changes because there are different side grades that make me think maybe they're less potent in the stock mono green list, but if I build around them more, they become perhaps better than the stock mono green list. So yeah, that is something to think on. All right, moving on. Ambassador of Unseen Edges. So this was the card I was probably most worried about in the set that wasn't like blatantly going to get changed, I think, because this was the one that gave like a double anthem to the board with its decoy ability. Sorry, let me bring up the current quotation marks version of the card. So yeah, this gave other creatures you can +1 +0, and they have haste. And then when you decode it, that was +2 +0 to all your other creatures and haste, and then +1 +0 to Ambassador and its token copy. So yeah, actually, I do think this part card was pretty inevitably going to get changed. So the new version is, whenever your creature control becomes blocked, it deals 1 damage to the player permanent is attacking, and you scry 1. Okay, that is still a pretty good card. Because now it pings for 2 whenever one of your other creatures gets blocked if you have its decoy out. Yeah, that is very solid, and the scry can help you take through your deck. This is still a good card. This is still a really good card. Yeah, wow, okay. I'm still super into this for token decks. I don't know if it's because I think this was pretty much the only card drawing into you to blue in token lists right now, besides like Teshima, but I mean, she's barely a blue card. I mean, there was all the KDT token support, but a lot of that has not been well received in Rev right now, so yeah. I don't know. I think the card is still really good, but it is like the only really good card in its colors for token decks, so we'll have to see. The Forever Hearts triggered ability now triggers when a non-token creature control dies from any. I think I know the card that they are referring to, and that makes a lot of sense. Yep, because this card didn't make any sense. When a token you control died, the trigger doesn't make sense because you would not be able to return it from your graveyard to the battlefield. So yeah, this is not a nerf. This is just a more clear wording of the card to make sure people know, hey, you can't return tokens from your graveyard to the battlefield because they cease to exist when they die. Cool. Okay. Sanctified Ravager has been reworked. Whenever one or more berserkers you control deal combat damage to one or more players or non-creature permanents, you may cast target clear from your graveyard. Cost 1 less cast for each berserker that dealt combat damage this way. Ooh. Sanctified Berserker. Oh my god. I will spell one of these right eventually. It's not a berserker. It helps berserkers, but it is a Ravager. There you go. Oh, that's a 2-drop. That is not bad at all. That is actually really sweet. I'm going to have to reevaluate because, I'll be honest, most of the Berserker and Cleric support in the set did not inspire confidence in me whatsoever. I don't even think I bothered checking what Berserkers and Clerics in the format right now because I just didn't think the support was good. This completely changed my mind. Being able to cast stuff from the graveyard, no finality counter. Yeah, sign me up. That is super spicy. And like, even if it's the only one hitting, it's cast target cleric from the graveyard and it costs 1 less. Like, that is so solid. Burning Blood Orator no longer grabs Raptor. That does not sound good for Burning Blood Orator. 249-4-2. When it attacks another target control has base power and toughness, becomes 4-2 until against Raptor. Yeah, that card's dead. I forget the card, but there's like a card from Crimson Vow, which did something very similar. It saw pretty much almost no play. I might have seen a bit of play when Crimson Vow released. That was like a 4-3 that made another creature 4-3. Obviously, this has Rapture, so that's a nice bonus over the other one. But no longer giving Rapture to your other creature is just... it's painful. I think it makes the card a lot worse, unfortunately, for combat, because 4-2 is just So killable. And again, we have so much 2 damage removal right now. It's like 2 damage removal and banishing lights. That's what you have to look out for in Revolution right now. And unfortunately, this is not good into either. So, yeah. I think this card is doomed to fail. Moving on to Dreadchant Warcaller. No longer has an intervening if. Oh, is that a green card? I'm pretty sure that's a green card. That might be 5 green cards. Yeah, okay. Dreadchant Warcaller is 2 and a green for a 3/2 with Ward. Beginning your end step, you create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with this creature in black if your life total has changed this turn. Okay. I am so much more hyped for this card. Because now it works with Reaper of Blossoms, which is the main issue with the card before it, was that it did not work with Reaper of Blossoms, which I consider the new de facto best green 2-drop. So now I am seriously considering this. I mean, you run Coalesce Core, you run Reaper Blossoms. If you are in another deck, another color, you run all the Shocklands. Yeah, this is so much more gas than it was before. Yeah, I don't remember where I ranked it in my ranking all the mono green cards list, but it is definitely shooting up in that estimation from where it is right now. All right, ooh, we got a sizable one here. Oh, I'm gonna mess up the pronunciation here, but I want to say Casimir's has been redesigned as a 3 blue-black planeswalker with 3 loyalty. Beginning your end step, discard a card. Then if there are 5 more card types among cards in your graveyard, transform Casimir's, otherwise draw a card. +1, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 into your hand and the rest in your graveyard. And -2, destroy target creature planeswalker, you gain 2 life. Miss Casimir's. Mr. Casimir's. Alright, so you were once a 3-mana planeswalker, now you're a 5-mana planeswalker. When you activate loyalty, discard cards. Okay, so now you have 5 or more cards, and it only works on your end step. So you cannot activate another loyalty ability after Casimir's flips, which they flip into this little number here. Huh. Yeah. I mean, they are still an immortal planeswalker that gets to stick around a lot. That is very, very hard to get off the board. But 5 mana is definitely a lot less threatening than 3 mana. So I think still probably a really good planeswalker. Probably the best one in blue-black. Sorry, Thovius Adi. Oh, man. That is... That is tough to evaluate. I think... No, he's still good. Yeah. So being able to basically be immune to a lot of forms of removal, you need to kill him with combat damage and then cast a removal spell or cast 2 removal spells on him to fully kill him. So, oh, okay, this one got changed too, so we have to look at that before we continue evaluating. Okay, so the backside of Casimir, he who shed his death has been reassigned. He now has protection from mana values less than the number of loyalty counters on he who shed his death. +1, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 2 of them into your hand and the other to your graveyard. Exile target creature planeswalker, you gain 5 life, and -6, exile top 6 cards at each opponent's library, exile the number of cards of your graveyard. Wow, okay, that got buffed. I was not expecting a buff, but that did get buffed. Oh, we know, it doesn't have the infinite return mode anymore. So now he has the protection mode. Okay, so you cannot infinitely keep bringing him back anymore. Okay. Yes, unfortunately, both of the planeswalkers in Exalts Twiltrie that could do that can no longer come back. Protection for mana values less than the number of loyalty counters on blank is very solid because he's going to transform with, what, 3 or 4 loyalty counters on him pretty often at 5 mana. So he is just going to have protection from everything your opponent's doing because you can't kill him with conventional board wipes. Banishing lights aren't going to be able to do anything. Single target removal spells aren't going to do anything. I guess, like, Welkin Eviction will probably still be able to kill him, but that's about it that I can think of. So, and I guess your big control beaters, I don't know if we run much of those anymore, but your big control beaters will still be able to kill him. And that being on a -1, by the way, crazy good. Dude, I think this is maybe the new best planeswalker in the format. Wow, yeah. Okay, so, I mean, I guess Graveyard Hate still deals with him a little bit, but he still has a -2 that just destroys anything and a +1 that grabs any. I guess he can die to himself. No, this card is going to be crazy good. Okay, yeah, definitely keep an eye on that. That is one of the better cards in the format now, I believe. I mean, he already was one. He was already lined up to be one of the better cards in the format, and the rework has made him still one of the better cards in the format, which is good. I like when a card gets reworked and is still playable after that. and this is definitely playable. So I am excited to see where Casimir's lands. Gotta find a good list for that guy. Okay. Oh, Vardo is getting redesigned. I did not see that coming. Vardo redesigned is a 1-black green 3/3 trample that says as long as you have 10 or less life, Vardo gets +2/+2. As long as you have 5 or less life, Vardo is indestructible. And whenever Vardo deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card and lose 1 life. Interesting. Okay, without trample, I was completely prepared to write this off, but trample is quite nice. I think I am considering this for green-black Stompy. I don't know how often you get below 10 or less life in green-black Stompy. So him just being a 3/3 trample that draws a card whenever you deal combat damage to a player is not the most exciting. So you need to get to 10. Okay, so maybe Suicide Black wants to run this, and you splash green into Suicide Black. Like you have Vardo's Scalpel, you have the 2/2 Zombie Token Maker for 1 mana that loses you 1 life. You run a bunch of Shocklands, you run a bunch of Coalesce Cores, and you lose your life that way. Okay, I mean, I see the appeal there. Maybe you don't... Okay, so I don't think you have to focus on giving him indestructible. I think just making him a 5/5 for 3 that draws a card whenever it hits the opponent is more than enough. I think 5 or less life is just asking to get Terminal impacted out of the game, and I think a lot of decks are maybe running Terminal Impact right now to deal with Husk Forger. So, yeah. He's, like, on the edge of playability, but I'm not sure. You know, I think he would actually probably be pretty good at Calamity Cap to recoup that card you discard to put into the haste and +1/+1 counter, and being a 4/4 makes it very likely he'll be able to get it and hit. So I do think there might be a Jund mid-range deck there. We'll have to think. Okay, final card. Advance of the Blazing Court. Redesigned as a 1R battle, Operation 4 defense. When it enters, create 2 blood tokens, and when it's defeated, whenever you sacrifice permanent, it deals 1 damage to any other non-creature target. Okay, we don't need to go look up the old card. I mean, let's see what we were losing, I guess. Advance of the Blazing Court. This is a buff. I'm reading this card, and I think this is absolutely a buff. 2 blood tokens for 2 mana is not the greatest rate, but once you defeat it, you can start paying down players real... Well, maybe not. I'm realizing this is non-creature target, so it can't actually hit creatures, which was like the best part of Mayhem Devil. No. Actually, I'm taking back what I said earlier. I don't think this card is actually any good. 4 mana to discard 2, draw 2, theoretically, is not the best rate. And dealing 1 damage to any non-creature target is not very good for dealing with the board, which is one of the things you would want in this type of list, I think. So, yes, unfortunately, I'm actually not on this card. Well, that's fine. So, I don't know how many card changes there are. It is quite a few, but we have now gone over every single card change for Exalted Twiltrie. I do believe there's likely going to be, I know for a fact, there are going to be more card changes coming for the other sets in the format. That will likely be on patch day. I will do a follow-up video. It'll likely be a lot shorter than this one for those patch notes for the cards that are getting changed. I do believe it was floated earlier publicly that there are going to be some couple cards changed to hit battles, so I will go over those and potentially any other changes that may pop up until then. And speaking of until then, I will see you next time. Ciao. I still haven't found a solid way to end my videos. I usually just ramble about abs, or I say something that I accidentally ate from another content creator. So maybe I'm going to have ciao be my new thing. No, that's not good. I will figure something out. I will see you next time. Bye.